Welcome back to Regular Guys Outdoors. I'm Chris. Recently I was up at Jeff's house in Wisconsin, and while I was there we had a wild game extravaganza. We did venison 2 ways and wild turkey nuggets. Here's what we did.
So I'm going to throw the venison roast in the crock pot on high for 4 hours. I found that if you cook the game roasts on a high heat for a shorter period of time, it stays moister when you eat it, more moist. I don't know. So I just au jus. I'm going to do a half a cup in the bottom. Then the venison roast I'm going to cover in a little bit of olive oil with some Lowry's, some garlic salt, and a little pepper. Got the pan heating up here, so we'll do a little bit of searing on both sides of it and toss it in, and it'll be ready in 4 hours. Almost forgot the Worcestershire. It's a very exact measurement. Chris must have butchered this one. So to go with the roast, I'm gonna make venison burgers. You can see this is just our wild game venison ground, just pure ground venison. Is what we're gonna start with. Okay, I'm just gonna mix some stuff in with this. And to be fair, this is Kessler, so I think it is cut with like 20% beef suet. Might be pork suet, but there's some fat put in there to cut it since venison has a tendency of being really lean. I get a little bit more. I do actually do a measurement on this. Too much smoke is going to be too much. I'll do a generous teaspoon of smoke. I go 2 to 3 to 1. It's 1, 2. Generous 3 Worcestershire smoke sauce. I do a very generous teaspoon of garlic. It's good for the blood. That's all I'm going to measure. And then the rest of the salt and pepper I do a coat of Lowry's over the top. And then I'll put another coat of Lowry's on the burger once the patties are formed. I'll do the same thing with the garlic salt. No vampires in this family, we like garlic. I'll put a little bit more on there when it's time to form the patties. beef or the ground venison is still a little bit cold. Hasn't fully reached room temperature yet. So I'm gonna let it sit and come back to it when it is room temperature. It's hard to form the patties. They want to crumble apart when it's not, when it's still too cold. So we're gonna let it get room temperature before we make the patties. Okay, so the meat is now room temperature. And so now you'll see when we pull it out to pack down the patty, it'll pack together nicely into a patty that I can throw on the grill. Before it was so cold it was crumbling, it wouldn't stick together.
Alright, so now we're going to make some wild turkey nuggets, and they're going to be the baked variety. So we've got our cut up into chunks wild turkey breast. We've got our white flour. We're going to make our egg wash, and we've got a bowl of the panko right there. So we've also got our stove at 425, and it's going to be, or the oven rather, is going to be preheated at 425. Right here, all we're going to do is we're going to make egg and olive oil mixture. Handful of chunks going in the flour. Into the wash. Into the panko.
Alright, so Chris had a little bit of egg wash and panko left over after he was done with the nuggets. So what the hell, we're going to try panko encrusted a couple of these burgers here. See how those go on the grill. So we're just going to do some of that leftover and see if we have a new wild game grill creation here. Alright, so I always get my grill prepped. I get it heated up to about 500 before I put them on. I like to get a little bit of sear on the burger to trap moisture, especially when you're talking about game meat, because game meat can be dry. So I'm going to toss it on there. Remember, it's venison, but don't overcook it. Cook it like you would red meat. It'll dry out real quick. So I go maybe 4 to 5 minutes and flip it. 4 to 5 minutes and that's it. So.
Alright, the oven's at 425, and we're going to put these in for about 8 minutes, check them, and then we'll give them a flip.
Here's the done burgers. Panko ones look like they might have turned out all right. We'll see. So when you're cooking game meat, the tendency is to overcook it. Everybody thinks game meat's full of bugs and all kinds of bacteria and stuff. It's actually probably cleaner than a lot of the beef or the pork you're going to get. However, if you are worried, instead of overcooking it, invest the $10 in a meat thermometer. 165 degrees is what for poultry is going to kill pork. It's going to kill any trichinosis that's going to be in there. So if you need to get one of these, it'll keep you from going over that, crossing over that line that makes it really dry and ruins game meat.
It's a wild game meat mountain.
Nuggets are done, burgers are done. We're going to check the venison. When you pop this open, a couple forks. If you reach in and you start just pulling it apart like you would pulled pork, pulled chicken, if it shreds up nicely like that, that is done. So now I have a nice shredded venison roast to add to it.
Of those 3 recipes, I think the only thing I would change is more pepper into the breading material for the turkey nuggets. Other than that, I wouldn't change a thing. I hope this helps you out with your wild game cooking, and we could sure use some more subscribers. So don't be afraid to hit that button right there, and here's some hunting videos right here. Thanks for watching.